So it was fun.
That's fun. Yeah, it's, the adventures of makeup artistry. You also get to encounter some ghosts from time to time. That is amazing.
Let's talk tails. Today's guest is someone I love working with. She's a professional makeup artist. Well, no, not just that. She's an industry icon, an instructor and founder of Maxima Makeup Artistry, a school with over 20 years of unwavering dedication to the art of makeup, specializing in film, television, print, theater, bridal, airbrush techniques, and the captivating realm of special effects makeup. My guest's wealth of experience, including her artistry with countless A-list celebrities and on renowned Hollywood movie sets, ensures that students not only acquire essential skills, but also gain unique insights into the inner workings of the makeup industry at its highest levels. The mission is simple: empower you with knowledge, ignite your creativity, and equip you with the tools to forge a thriving career in the world of makeup artistry. It's Salpie Tatka. How are you doing today?
Fabulous. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you so much for being here. So Salpie, tell me, were you one of those little girls who would sneak into your mom's room and take all the makeup and just cover yourself with makeup at an early age?
Actually, my mom didn't wear a lot of makeup, to be honest, but I did love makeup. And my parents were so wonderful that they let me do whatever I wanted to do. So yes, I did do everybody's makeup. By the time I was 12, I was doing makeup for everyone. But at the same time, I didn't really know if I knew everything. Does that make sense? So about 14 is when I really got interested in all the makeup.
When did you realize you had the power to make it a career?
Well, that's a very tough question because I've always wanted to be a makeup artist, even at a young age. But it was a very difficult industry to get into, especially back in my time without Google and all the stuff you guys have today. We didn't have makeup schools either. So I wanted to be a makeup artist. Everybody I asked about it, they would say, oh, go to cosmetic counters. I'm like, that's not what I want to do. Go to aesthetic school. That's not what I want to do, right? So finally, I used to go to all the shows in LA. Like we had a lot of live shows back then. So I used to go to the shows and I heard somebody in the background saying there was a makeup school. I'm like, what? It was like winning the lottery. I'm like, there's a makeup school? So, of course, it was Joe Blasco was the very, very first makeup school. And it was in the Gower Studios at the time. I didn't care what it was going to take. I was going to go to the school. Because I just knew that there were things I didn't know, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like a lot of people today are like, oh, I'm a makeup artist, but they really aren't. If you're just doing your own makeup and learning it from YouTube, that's really not the way to go. So, yes, I went to Joe Blasco, and the rest is history.
Lovely. Tell me a tale about a time on set where maybe it was just a crazy experience to be a part of or just something fun with your time on set.
Honestly, every single set is a fun experience of some sort. A lot of the experiences that I love, because we have stories about every single one, right? Without naming names, my assistant, who I used very, very many times, you might know her, Ariel. We have, oh my gosh, the funniest stories ever. And it's all on set. And we can laugh about it all the time. The best one was when we were shooting a movie about a clown killing people. And the producer might figure this out. So it was haunted. The place was haunted. And we stayed in that room for a week, Ariel and I. And I have tons and tons of stories.
About living in a haunted house. So you had to stay in a haunted house. Yeah, in Arizona. Arizona's kind of like one of those like famously like haunted states, I feel. Like there's so many different haunted locations and haunted houses and things like that. So like what's something that like happened at your time in this haunted house?
Okay, so it's not a house, it's a motel.
Okay, even scarier.
Okay. So we get to this place. We don't have a car, Ariel and I, right? They drove us there. And all the downstairs rooms were taken. So we're like, okay, well, we have all this equipment and all the stuff that we need to take. We had the body parts and, all of that, which I hate having in my room, by the way.
Yeah.
So we get there and they put us upstairs. We're like, okay, well, we got to drag everything up, right? Get everything up there.
Doesn't it feel like the start of a horror movie?
Yes.
Which
it was. So we get to, I said, Ariel, let's just put all this stuff in the corner so we can't see it, right? Okay, no problem. So the first day we start shooting, and we're shooting nights, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. There's a burial ground next to us. So Ariel says, can I go? I have to go to the bathroom. Can I go upstairs? Oh, yeah, go. She comes back down. She looks like she's seen a ghost. I mean, she was like, I go, what's the matter with you? She's like, did you come upstairs when I was up there? I go, no, why would I come upstairs? I have to be by set.
Yeah.
She goes, well, I heard this sound, because it's an old motel, right? You can hear the
footsteps and things and the creaks of the boards. And yeah.
So she goes, and then when I opened, I called out your name and you weren't there. And then when I opened the door, I felt like I was going to faint. There was like this energy. I'm like, okay, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the whole time, this place was haunted. The whole motel's haunted. And then she looked it up, and ghosts, whatever those people are, had been there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first day we took some pictures. We always do fun pictures. Okay, so I'm holding the head like this. And, all the crazy stuff. So I didn't think anything of it. I just left it alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
A couple of days later, I go back to the pictures, and it's live on my phone, right? So I push on it, and there's sounds in the background. There's 2 people talking.
What were they saying?
The one that I'm holding the head like this, he's going, hey, it's True Blood. And then another one, the girl, there's a monster head.
Yeah.
And I put this head on, by the way, and the eyes, there was no opening. And I said, who the heck made these things? You can't even see. How's the actor supposed to look through it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm holding that, and he goes, hey, where are you? And then another one was Ariel had something, she was holding like a monster thing, and there was a sound in the background. Now this was a female say, hey, this place is fun. Like with a really hard I have them all in my phone.
Wow, that is amazing.
So after that, I was like, oh, let's do some more pictures. Mm-hmm. I brought the actors in and stuff. They figured out that we could hear them because they didn't know about the technology.
Right.
So no more sounds after that.
That's very
But things were happening, things would be disappearing, things would be moved around. And I'm like, hey, I don't have time for this. I'm working right now. Just put it back. And then I come in the room, same thing, right? And then they were like, there was one where I was working on the guy's head because everything was done in my room.
Yeah.
So I'm working on his head, and I didn't notice because I'm focused here, right? And then if you look at the picture, you see the door like closing, and there's nobody there.
Oh my goodness!
There was a lot. I was getting the guy who was he was the jokester.
Yeah.
But she was getting the female, and it was not good.
Not as fun.
No, hers was scary. I never got her. I just got the guy, and I just kept telling him, stop it. I don't have time for this. I have 10 minutes to lay down. Stop. And then he would change the air from 80 to 57.
Oh my goodness.
And then I go to the front desk, and I said, is this like, how low can I put my air? And they're like 60. I go, well, my room's 57. Twice. He did it twice. So I'm thinking maybe he was 57.
Gary the ghost knows how to really tap into the thermostat.
Yeah. Maybe he was 57 when he passed away or something. I don't know.
Or it was 1957 or
Good.
Yeah, something.
It had to be before then because it was the mine. It was the it was a very group of people where they only liked each other. They didn't like outsiders.
Interesting.
So it was fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it's, the adventures of makeup artistry. You also get to encounter some ghosts from time to time.
Yes.
That is amazing.
I think I got more stuff than the ghost people, hunters.
Well, I agree. Yeah, well, because also what you just mentioned, and I know we're kind of going on a bit of a tangent with this, but what you just mentioned is that once they found out that they were found, it was, we need to be careful now. For whatever reason in that dimension of needing to be careful or not found or whatever.
Right.
Because my personal belief on spirits and ghosts is that they are not allowed to fully alter your life because their life is over. And so that's why, like, ghost stories of you dying from a ghost, like, no, they can't change your life. I don't think there's a power to be able to do that. So perhaps being found could then potentially be life altering for you if it was so traumatic. But then you can't do that because that's like against a rule, perhaps. That's always just been my theory. You know, that's why things can go missing. But is it life altering? Annoying.
Oh no, you put it back.
Yeah, but then it's back because it's not life altering.
Place.
But you're not allowed to life alter. That's always just been it's kept me calm in some weird situations.
Yeah. And then when I was leaving, of course, I had my sage and I was trying to burn sage inside. They wouldn't let me burn it the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
But then outside, and his name is George, by the way.
Okay.
I said, George, you stay here. Don't come with me.
Right? You're not allowed. We might have gotten along.
There's more people coming. You can play with them. But it was fun.
Wow, that is nuts. How'd you find out the name was George?
It's just, they have a thing about it, about a guy who came to town and he was a jokester, so they liked him. And then he opened up a saloon. He worked at the mines, but then he opened up a saloon. And he was fun, and everybody kind of accepted him into this town. But then he had a dark side, and he was abusive to his wife. So his wife came into no, it wasn't her, because I don't think they would be still together.
Unless they died at the same time in the same place.
No, she went to the saloon and shot him to death.
Oh,
so that's the story, and that he was a jokester. So that's what he does in the motel. He plays jokes on everybody,
on people,
and tries to see their reactions.
Fun.
Yeah,
that's real fun. But yeah, so you're gonna have all of this fun on set, from, you know, connecting with artists and celebrities and doing their makeup, meeting ghosts. Where did you say, you know what, I want to help other people experience the life that I do? What was the tale that you told yourself to say, I should start my own school?
Okay, so that's a funny story. So I came to Arizona from California, and I kind of had to start over again. And I realized that none of the schools teach how to get into the industry. All they do is teach you, this is how we do, and then that's it. You're on your own. So there was a photographer that came into town from LA, and he was complaining about, there's no good makeup artists here. I'm like, wait a minute, where did you get the makeup artists, right? So I said, let's do a photo shoot. I go, okay. So we go to his house. We did 17 people. I took 2 of my girls and went to his house. We did 17 people, and he called me the next day. He was like, oh my God, I didn't have to touch up a single person. He was complaining that this makeup artist he hired, he said, can you do something about under the eyes? And she's like, well, can't you just Photoshop that? And he was furious. He's an old timer, right?
Yeah.
When we didn't have Photoshop or anything like that.
Right.
So that's when it all started. And then I said, okay, I can create some good makeup artists in town. Because people think because you're from Arizona, you don't have the talent. They think we do mediocre work here. So I said, nope, I can create some great makeup artists. So that's where the school came in. And what I teach them is not just the makeup part. And I'm there with them. I'm holding their hands and I'm teaching them, this is the stroke. And so it's very different than any other school. And I also teach them ethics in the industry. I teach them what to wear, what not to wear. You know, there's so much that goes on set.
Such important nuances, though, that really could come into play, where if, you know, a production house is trying to choose who's going to be their preferred vendor and they have these interviews, how you carry yourself and hold yourself and what people also are going to visually be seeing on set, like, makes a difference.
Absolutely.
That's excellent. So what are some of the biggest mistakes you see, early artists make?
They don't listen.
That's everybody.
The phone on set is a really big no-no. They're sitting on the phone while you're trying to get their attention, right? Because you can't talk. We're shooting. You need something. And they're on their phones. That is my biggest pet peeve. And it takes a while for them to finally get it. It takes a while.
Right. So just
that's
so
one of
crazy.
The biggest ones.
That has nothing to do with technical skill of makeup artistry. That is just a
they're
simple.
just playing.
Yeah.
Instead of paying attention. That's the other thing is I teach them to pay attention. Be be on set, be by the monitor, watch the monitor. You're not, okay, I did my makeup and then go sit. A lot of makeup artists do that, by the way, even big ones. They just go sit. They're done. So be on set, be by the monitor, watch what's happening. If you see something, stop it, because they're not paying attention to that. They're paying attention to what they have to do. Mm-hmm. Every single person has their job, right? Mm-hmm. They're all paying attention to what they need to do. So it's our job to make sure that our model or whoever's in front of the camera looks the way they should, because they can't see themselves.
Right.
So that's another one that, a lot of people just go sit. No. Be right here.
Yes. No, and you do such a good job at that. There's certain skin tones and people that might get a little more oily or sweaty and shiny at times. You think they're all matted and good to go, but 10 minutes into an interview, it's not quite there. You're so good at getting the attention and, say that. And then it's like, okay, we'll stop at a good time. And then we can just cut it when it's a clean time to cut and touch up.
And then just run and come back.
Yeah.
Oh, let me tell you.
Yeah, you come in prepared. You're ready to go every time. All right, touch, and then you're good.
2 seconds.
Yeah, we don't even really need to take a full break. It's just a pause. It's not a break. It's a pause. It's like, okay, cut, pause.
Yeah.
You go in and then you're out and then we're back at it.
Just imagine 120 degrees weather.
Yeah.
We're shooting in a warehouse and you turn the air off and these guys are wearing jackets, right? Leather jackets.
The torture that some actors have to go through.
And they're sweating like crazy. So you don't even have enough time to run. Like every 2 seconds, you got to be in there.
Just
and then sometimes I just give them some to put in their pockets and just really
dab.
Really quick.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
And then, so the phones, what are then some of the biggest tips you would give to people when they're just starting out? Is it to seek out a school and get certifications? Is it to find a mentor? Is it to, just build a portfolio? What would be that first step you would say people should take when they really want to have a successful career in makeup artistry?
The first thing would be to get certified at a recognizable school. Anybody can certify you, but the industry has to recognize that place, right? Once you're certified in a good school, like in mine, I also do mentoring for them afterwards. So I get them started, I get them on set, I get them credits that it took me, over 3 years to get started. I did free work for 3 years in LA. And just pay attention and do because everything that I'm telling you is for your own good, right? I have one makeup artist that is absolutely amazing. She used to be in the police force.
Wow.
And
what a career switch.
Yes, she loved makeup and she did such an amazing job. And shout out to Danya, of course. She was like my number one girl for a long time. And she was the type of person that listened, did everything. Towards the end of the course, I asked her, I said, because I had a project, and this was when a web was just starting out. It was a web project. And I said, Danya, are you ready to go work? And she's like, I don't know, am I? I said, yeah, you are. She goes, okay, then I am. So she went and did this project, and it's so great because we were still in class, and she would come back every time and say, oh my God, everything she said happened. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Yeah, she's amazing. She opened up a salon actually in Gilbert.
Oh, wow.
She's doing fabulous.
That's and I bet that just feels so fulfilling inside to know that you've helped someone,
oh my God, you
have
no
a
idea.
trajectory in the career that, without you, they couldn't have.
You have no idea. I call them my girls, and I'm so proud of them every time they do something good.
That is excellent. That is awesome. And, there's a couple of different ways of learning from you. Online, there's some courses, as well as in person, though, is definitely the best way to learn, truly the brush strokes and things like that. So located in Scottsdale, you really, truly hands-on are teaching people what it is to do. What is your favorite type of makeup to do? Because I know we talked about how you do things, you go from special effects to bridal, and, what's your favorite look to do?
I absolutely love all of it, to be honest. Beauty is natural beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people come into class thinking they're just going to put on all this colors, and anybody can do that. The natural makeup is probably the hardest makeup to do, where you can't see the makeup, but they look amazing, right? That's pretty much my favorite. Because it's like boom, boom, boom. I don't know if you remember Scott Hayes. He passed away.
I remember. Yeah.
We did photo shoots just for fun.
One of the photos in there is his. The gal in the white turtleneck. Yeah, that was one of his. And I remember him.
So we did, we started out just for fun. We're like, he said, hey, what do you think about doing some headshots? We can make it affordable for people because, everybody doesn't have a lot of money starting out.
Yeah, for talent, trying to start out, you need quality headshots. Can't just do a little selfie on their phone.
Right. One Sunday, he said, a month. I'm like, okay, we'll do the Sunday. So we started doing this. We were booked solid for every single Sunday. We had 3 to 4 people every Sunday.
Wow.
For 3 years. And it was because it was all natural makeup, but making them look good.
Yeah.
Bring out their best features.
Yeah.
Then we had Tori who did the wardrobe and assisting him, and he did the photos. It was like boom, boom, boom. And all the agencies loved them. We were getting people from Atlanta sending us agencies, LA, all over the place. So it was pretty amazing. It was a good run. Very sad.
Yeah, sad. So tell me, what's a tale you wish you would have told your younger self?
That's hard because I had to do it the hard way, right? So when I started the school, I didn't want them to go through that, but they don't realize what we all had to do. They just want to be you without putting in the work.
Right.
So I was always a workaholic, so that's a tough one. I probably would say don't work so hard and stop and smell the flowers once in a while because there's no rush. I mean, I don't know where we're running to all the time, but just passion. Have passion for what you do, which I do. I love. Yeah. Like even now when I do makeup, it's like I'm passionate about it.
And you can tell you're just having so much fun on set.
Yeah.
It could be, just a basic touch up, but you're still just really enjoying it.
Yeah. So I would probably say do that because I did do other things as well. I did the college thing and I did all that. I would just take my passion and go with it.
Don't delay. Just go with it.
Just go with it.
That's awesome.
It's the most wonderful thing when you go to work and it's really not work. And you're just having fun.
Right. You could do it if you didn't, even if you weren't being paid, you'd still choose to do it over other things. That is always the goal.
Yes.
Yes.
But the money comes with the passion.
Yes.
But if you do something for money, people can see right through that.
And I feel that's where burnout happens way, 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 way sooner. If you're trying to force yourself into a hole that you are just not a peg that will fit into it, you can push and mold yourself as much and listen as much of self-development. But if you're just not interested in that hole, you're never going to really quite fit in it correctly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Makes sense. I always like to ask, get a little punny with my questions. What's your favorite animal with a tail?
A dog.
Team dog. All right, we're going to have to end this interview. No, I'm just joking. Team dog. Okay, that's fine.
What were you expecting?
I'm team cat. So that's why I sometimes appreciate a different answer or team cat, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll still accept.
I've had a cat.
Okay.
A few.
Yeah.
But a dog is what I would go for because I just feel like they're more loyal. Cats,
It's just like people. I think cats are perfect reflections of people because it shows truly how every personality is different.
Yeah.
My Xena, Xena Warrior Princess, her growl is definitely mightier than her bite. She runs away growling when she hears the doorbell, and I can love on her. She's so sweet. No one else though. No one else in the household can love her.
Really?
Yeah. And then we have another kitty, Dash, who's like the kids' cat, who's just a crazy animal. Just literally runs around the entire house like a mad cat.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all different. Yeah. Personalities are different. I had one for 17 years.
Wow.
And then the next ones we got,
Yeah. Everything's always
very different. The one for 17 years thought he was human. really. He would sit and watch TV with us, did not like other cats coming in because we tried to bring another one time.
That was like my devious.
Ooh,
Yeah.
not a good thing.
Oh man, that's so I also like to know, like, I know for myself, I do listen to a lot of books and watch movies from time to time. And, you're in the industry of movies and television. Is there a particular TV series or movie or book that you personally just enjoy watching or reading?
Honestly, I read a lot of inspirational books. Bettering yourself, constantly working on yourself, awareness. Gosh, I can't remember the name of it that I just read. It's about love. Do everything with love.
Nice.
And I like reading books about things like that and things that are more spiritual and make you a better person every day.
That is good because life is short, and especially when you're in your industry, like you need to have talent, obviously, of the makeup technique. But if you're not able to have human connections with people, I'm sure it'd make your industry and your job a lot harder.
Oh gosh, I'm glad you brought that up because that is a huge thing that I do. When I'm working on set, I'm working with the personalities, different personalities, and I know how to work with every single personality. So they get to be they rely on me and trust me. So if I said, let's go get this done, and the director could be yelling at them and they don't care less, and I go, come on, let's go get this done, and then we'll go do this afterwards. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So is that something that you teach them when you're talking about, preparing your students for the career? Is it just, what are some of those nuances beyond the technical that really separates yourself as a school for makeup
That
artists?
is huge, actually. The personalities you have to get along with. I do teach them how to handle situations without offending anyone.
Can you give me an example of that?
Without putting out a name.
I am the one that's being difficult. Here we're gonna do a role playing. I'm the A-type personality. Someone gave me coffee without any creamer. You think I'm
Okay,
I don't like it black. I don't know. I don't know how to be overly ridiculous.
I'll give you an example. A big name actress just is like that. That's just her personality.
Right. Sometimes I'm a bridezilla beyond the bride, beyond the wedding.
So I always try to make it in a funny way. I'll joke about it or something, make them calm down. And, we had one actress where, she came in halfway through, right?
Okay.
It was her time. So she was in her trailer. So they said, oh, she's here. Okay. I haven't talked to her yet. So I went, knock on her door, and she's like, come in. And I come in. She goes, gosh, this is like the production office. Everybody's always coming in and out. I go, yeah, I know. I'm Salpie. I'm your makeup artist. I just wanted to introduce myself. She goes, oh, come, sit. And we start talking. And then, of course, throughout the whole film, whatever she was going through, I just go talk to her. She would just be back on set.
Interesting. So perhaps also it's just your kindness and the fact that your job is to make people look their best. And it's also one of those things like chefs. I'm always supery dupery nice to waiters and chefs because they control your food. Well, same thing with a makeup artist. Like, you're controlling the look of my face. So I think that's also a thing where, once you do confidently and calmly introduce who you are, it probably does help the playing field level out. Because it's like, oh, wait, I need you to actually kind of like me to make me look my best. I feel perhaps is what they also are
It's the
reacting.
personalities. You got to go with their personality. If they're really high maintenance, give them high maintenance. If they're really low maintenance, leave them alone.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've had on a set where this guy just did not like to be touched up. And I left him alone as long as I can. And then I'm like, hey, dude, sorry.
Yeah.
This is what you're going to look like if you don't let me do this.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're fine. I just make it fun. It's a fun atmosphere. Everybody's stressed about their own things. The biggest thing I say is I teach them how to deal with personalities, but also stop talking. Okay? Let them talk. They can, a lot of times, I've known people that got fired for makeup artists that got fired because they were talking too much. Because you don't understand what that person's going through, right? They might be looking at their script, trying to memorize their script, and you're talking, right? So it's don't talk. You're like a therapist. What does a therapist do? This is how I teach the class. What does a therapist do? Yeah. Just because they're sharing their information doesn't mean you start sharing your personal information. You want to keep personal separate from business, always.
Now, so would you, though, if someone asked, what are your thoughts on this? Or what about you? Where did you grow up? Do you then participate in the conversation?
As little as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip for people. That's a really good tip for those who are, thinking about getting into the industry. I think that's such a good, nuance that, when I think of a makeup artist, I personally just think of the technical skill. You need to have the technical skill. But there's so much more than that, though. It's those soft skills of knowing how to truly interact with people, because you have to deal with people. That is a part of your industry.
I prefer to talk to them ahead of time so I know what their deals are, what they like, what they don't like. And I did have a pretty big celebrity that I was working on, and I knew what his things were. So I talked to him and I said, let's do whatever we need to do in the trailer, and then I'll just do touch-ups, blah, blah, blah. And the whole film, after the film, he wrapped, and I don't like to do anything with what I like to leave him alone, right?
Okay.
And I thought he left, but then I see him coming back. He came all the way back to find me, and he said it was so nice to have a professional on set, which really makes you feel good, right?
Yeah.
You make them feel good. In turn, you feel good.
That is really good. That's awesome. And, it's really, I think the goal that everyone should have is how to make people feel good, and using your own unique crafts in order to make that a reality. And so for you, you're able to do it through makeup. And so do you even, I don't know. I don't wear any makeup. And honestly, the makeup thing, it overwhelms me. How do you even help your artists discover even what products to use? Do you just recommend particular products to use? Are there industry standard type level of brands? Or, how do you, there's so much because I've just been trying to even just have some more basic understanding of makeup, just being on set, and there's so much.
There is. And in the classes, we go through all the different products.
Okay.
What's best for what kind of skin. And
so it's not just the how to do it. It's the do it. It's with the what's. It's the equipment. You are truly from, almost like a baby of, you understand what makeup is now to here's now your tool to everything.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And HD did a big number on a lot of makeup artists, because when HD came out, we were all using heavy duty, creams and all that, layers and layers, like what they're doing on YouTube now, which is not what we do anymore, by the way. This is how we were doing it, because we didn't have any way to fix anything. So what you see is what you get. So we had to make it as perfect as possible back then. Well, HD came out, everybody started freaking out, right? Because now we need as much coverage with as little makeup. Because you could see everything. You could see pores. You could see everything. So you would see layers of
right,
makeup.
Just that little line,
right. So that's where I started doing some research on. So at that time, we were using airbrush because airbrush was the least amount, and you could get a lot of coverage for. Did some research and found some makeup company, a makeup company that was doing HD makeup. It was the first one. So what I usually do is I buy some, right? And then I try it out. So I tried it out on one of the films I was working on. It was a Lifetime movie. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is lasting all day and it looks amazing. So then I put the word out, and a lot of makeup artists weren't even using it at that time. So yeah, I didn't get any commissions from the company though.
Oh, that's a shame. And so, so for your students, they're going to learn what equipment. Are you going to help them get any starter kits? So once they have graduated, they can even,
They don't have a starter kit. It's a full-on kit.
Oh, a full kit.
Yes.
Okay.
The kit has everything in it that they possibly need. The only things they won't have in the kit are special effects items, if they're doing the full class, that go bad. It doesn't last. So as we need them, we get them.
Okay.
But I teach them, I show them where to get the products, where to order everything. We go through everything in class. Plus, I'm a life coach and an NLP coach. So I work with their psychology in class as well and teach them the way they need to be taught. Everybody's different. They learn differently. And build confidence, because that's number one. Your confidence. If you don't have confidence, and I give them examples. I do like little come in the door with no confidence, come in the door with confidence, all that stuff. Okay. So we do a lot of stuff in class. I do a lot of stories. I teach with stories and hands-on. Most of it.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you get your kit, you get the technique, you get the careers, information. People can truly, this sounds like a PhD course. Is this like an 8-year course? How long is this course?
It should be 8 years, right? It's really 3 months full time.
3 months. So from 3 months, someone can go from having a passion with knowing nothing
Absolutely
to
nothing.
actually being employable in the makeup artistry.
Yes. But here's the thing. They have to be doing their homework. They have to be practicing when they're supposed to. And I tell them, if you haven't done 100 faces, not your own face, 100 different faces, you can't call yourself a makeup artist.
And probably different skin tones and skin types probably makes a big difference.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially skin tones.
Yes.
They have to know every single one. We do every single type in class.
That is amazing. So I don't know of any other handheld educational opportunity where you can truly go from start to career that fast.
It's pretty much my reputation they're going on, so they have to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
And not everybody will go through and become a really good makeup artist. Yeah. You know, you got to do the work. Yeah. If you're not willing to do the work, you're not going to get there. Mm-hmm. And some people just don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. They just want to be there.
Yeah.
Me too.
And other people might realize, through that journey that maybe they want to own a salon. Maybe doing the sets isn't their thing, but that's okay. Everyone, especially in the world of makeup, there's so many different avenues where, maybe if you don't like doing the, you're spending a month in a haunted motel type of life, and you want to just go to your salon and then go home at night to your non-haunted house, that's one life. But other people like to have a little extra adventures, huh?
Ariel's a trooper. Yeah, she's gone through a lot with me. She's put up with a lot of stuff. But so when I take them as an assistant on a job, I usually know if this is for them or not. So I tell them to try every area. Do bridal, do go do proms, do anything just to get experience, right? See what I usually say is when you're not looking at your watch, that's where you need to be.
Oh, I love that. When you're not looking at your watch, that's where you need to be because the time doesn't matter anymore.
Film is not for everyone.
Yeah.
It's long hours. People think it's just, oh, gosh, yeah, look at that movie. It's so great.
Fun and games the whole time. And it's like, no, this 5-second scene, they did that for a solid 3 hours. Right? For 5 seconds.
And plus, when you're on set, I teach them the pros and cons. And I always try to take them with me somewhere.
That's nice that you're not sugarcoating it, that you're literally letting them know, this is the real thing. Not be your place if.
Yeah, I had one assistant who was amazing, absolutely amazing. And I took her on set with me and I'm like, honey, I don't think this is for you. I think you should do more photo shoots and because she's
What are the characteristics that you identify that goes, oh, you're better bridal. No, you are great on, film productions. What are some of those characteristics or things that you notice that, as someone's watching and they're like, I love makeup, no idea where in the world of makeup I fit in best?
That's why I want them to try every one first and see where they fit. And if they're not trying to go, oh, when is it going to be over? When, is it time to go?
Craft services here yet?
That's where you need to be.
All right. That is excellent. So it's just that. It's just where do you feel the passion? It has nothing to do necessarily with skill set or with any type of...
Skills have something to do with it, of course. Okay. But some people just need a regular income and, this is not a regular income kind of thing.
And perhaps more regular hours.
Yeah. So they can go more into the department stores. I've gotten them jobs in those places. So it just depends on where they're comfortable and where they want to go.
Okay.
And eventually they'll find their way.
Mm-hmm.
But first they need to try every area to see where they're going to fit in.
That is excellent. And I just, when we look at this beautiful poster that you have, this isn't even close to a sampling of the work that you've done. Like, you can really do see that there's such a variety and such a difference in the various techniques. And, having a quality artist on set, I know a lot of my productions are very low budget, but we do sometimes have the budget to be able to have a professional artist like yourself. And it's such a game changer. Like, truly, if you're debating, like, do I really need a makeup artist there or not? If you can have them there, it is well worth it, because just as you mentioned before, it's just one less thing to think about. Me, typically on the director side of things, when I'm on set, I'm literally just thinking of, the inflection in the voice when they said a particular line. What are they saying? How are they saying it? A lot of the stuff that we do is more documentary. So it's like weaving, I'm editing as I'm hearing. I'm not noticing that he's getting slightly shiny, or that there's a slight shine appearing on the corner of his forehead. I am so focused on everything else. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so it's so good to have people, and that's where building to a team is so important. So even in a production team, it's not just the camera op, the audio, it's the makeup artists play a huge difference.
Oh, absolutely. So then when I first started Maxima Makeup, I had to rebrand everything and say, okay, you know me as Salpie, as a makeup artist, but now this is Maxima Makeup Artistry, where we're teaching people to become makeup artists. And I was out with doing all kinds of, I was at every event you could think of. What I was trying to get across is, whether you have a budget or not, get a makeup artist, and I can provide one, because when we have students, it's good to have students go in, and it's experience for them, and it's good for you.
That. This was a great reminder just for me. I didn't really think about, because I always just think you. How can I get you? But you're right. Perhaps if one of my clients, they are, they don't have the budget, we can be like, okay, we're gonna have a student come on for fraction of the cost in comparison. So
at least you have makeup.
Yeah, it's a really good thing to consider and think about. I appreciate that. And tell me the tale behind choosing the name Maxima Makeup Artistry.
Honestly, it wasn't even mine. It was somebody else. And I started the business because of every business I've started has been for somebody else's benefit.
Okay.
Because they needed a job, or they needed something. And this girl needed a job so bad. She had kids, and the person she was working for had really put her, lied about stuff and didn't do what she said she was going to do. So now she's in the middle of, she's like, let's start. I'm like, no, I just want to relax for a minute. I don't want to do anything right now. I just sold the other business, and I just want to relax. And she was like, but I need to do it. So together we came up with that Maxima, but it was her idea, to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's very easy to remember. It's, it does have a nice ring to it. And I'm always just so curious to know, like, how do people come up with their brand names and everything? So it is very nice, though, Maxima Makeup Artistry.
When I go to Mexico, I see Maxima on the signs.
Oh, okay.
I guess I didn't know that's what it was.
There you go. Lovely. That is excellent. So if people want to stay connected with you, and especially connected with the next time you're having more classes come on, where should people go in order to stay in tune with all the amazing things you're doing?
They can go on to the website, maximamakeup.com, or they can call. Calling is the best way, and it's 480-429-3784. Call, ask your questions, see if this is a good fit for both of us. Because it's not for everyone. Mm-hmm. If they're not really serious about it, I don't really accept them into the program.
Yeah. No, it's not a school where all is enrolled. Yeah. It is, you need to actually get accepted into this school.
So when they come in for their interview, I usually talk to them about, I'm looking for the passion. Mm-hmm. You have the passion, I can create the talent. Yep. But I can't create passion in you. Right?
You are saying so much truth right there. We are in the midst of trying to add to the team and building to the team. And, I've been in business since 2014. And at first I was hiring for skill. I was like, I need an editor. Oh, this person says they have a PhD in editing. Must be perfect, right?
Yes.
But they don't listen to directions. They're not coachable. All those things, that passion, if they have the passion and the eagerness to learn, you can teach skill set all day.
Exactly.
Yeah, passion's what you need. That's excellent.
So that's really important.
So we'll make sure to put all the links in the show notes. So then that way, to sign up for the next course or just to, follow Maxima Makeup Artistry just to see all the amazing, pieces of work that they have done. As you see, anything from, your classic bridal to some pretty cool looking special effects. And so to close here today, what would be the one piece of advice you would have to someone out there who is looking to start their career in makeup?
Get started.
Just like how Nike
Tomorrow may never come. Get started. Do what you love.
Excellent. So just get started. Do what you love. Life is too short. And if you have a passion for something, that's what's going to drive you forward, even through the muddy middle when things seem difficult, or in your first year, especially, because everyone in business there has had a first year and the struggles of that. You're not alone, and find mentors who have been there to guide you along the way. So thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your amazing tales. Very interesting. Off camera, you have to tell me what that motel is. So check it out myself one day and go say hi to George.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, and have a great day. Thank you for watching Tales with Taylor. Please make sure you like and subscribe to the Financial Potion YouTube channel to never miss an episode.